Hey everyone, welcome back. So you probably just saw me buy a bunch of wood, 2x4s. We're going to be building the final aquarium rack. Not rack, aquarium stand I mean, and it's going to be my biggest aquarium stand, so it's going to be an exciting one. Make sure you stay tuned. We're not necessarily going to be putting a big tank on it because I can't afford one just yet, but we're going to play around with some smaller tanks on that stand and maybe do a few aquascapes and stuff like that. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. So let's go back, build the stand. I'm going to have to paint it as well, which is not going to be so fun, but we're gonna build this stand. Look at all that wood. Doesn't look like much, but there's more down there, so I don't know if you guys saw that, but let's go back, build this thing out, and I'll see you guys later. All right, so we've got bad news and bad news. So first, it's freezing. My hands are so cold. I'm having trouble speaking. I'm not used to this cold at all, and it's just really hard working out here, but I've got no choice. I could paint inside the fish room, but all the fumes will just get out, and I don't want to risk anything with my fish. We're using an air pump as well, so I don't want like this air going into the tank, so that's why we're doing it out here. And second bad news is we are really running low on paint. I don't know how well you can see that, probably can't at all, but there's like almost nothing left in this, and I've still got to paint all of this, so I'm gonna have to get out, get more paint. I think I'll just see you guys tomorrow once I get this all done. So tomorrow we'll start putting this thing together, and I'll see you guys then. Good morning. Today is another cold day. I finished painting all the wooden pieces last night, like you can even see here. I'm just drying it up. It should already be dried, well, mostly. But you can see all the long pieces have been painted. This part's looking super messy, but I've got more pieces over here. And then if we take a look in the fish room, it's still early in the morning, so some of the lights are still just turning on. You can see the 𝗲𝗾𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 lights, like slowly sunrise mode, so it slowly gets brighter and brighter. But here I've got more pieces of wood. We're going to be building the stand right here in this middle section, so I'm gonna have to move this as well as all of this stuff and this tank as well. I'm gonna have to move this. It's a 6-foot stand. 6 foot, how many centimeters is that? 180 centimeters. So we're going to be putting that right there. Can't wait for this. Let's start moving all this stuff out of the way. So when I first had the idea of putting a big tank here, I wanted a 7-foot tank, and that's why you can kind of see the tape right there. That would be 7 foot from where this tank starts. So from here to there, that's 7 feet, but halfway through I decided that 7-foot tank isn't what I want. Kind of because it'll look kind of weird if it just sticks out there, and it'll also make it more cramped in this area when you want to walk through, and so I decided to do 6 feet. It's also going to be easier to get a 6-foot tank compared to a 7-foot tank once I decide I want a large tank. So yeah, we're gonna have it 6 feet. 6 feet is going to be around here, so not that much difference. Still a big tank. We're going to set it up very, very soon. I promised you guys last year, I think it was in March, that we're going to do a nature style aquarium. I asked you guys to vote, and you guys said nature style over 𝗲𝗾𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, so I gotta set this thing up. I'm sorry I've been putting this tank off. I don't even know if you guys remember that poll, that vote that we did, but it's gonna be a fun one. We're going to set it up right after we set the stand up, so make sure you stay tuned. I can't wait for this, and I already have the image, the idea of how I want this scape to look, so it's gonna be a fun one. Alright, so we've got the bottom frame laid out in place, this rectangle right here. Right now, I've also got the top frame. It's standing up right here, kind of hard to see. It's basically the exact same as the bottom frame. We're going to put that on top here, screw it in place into these legs right here. These aren't the main supports. You guys will see later we're going to have much more supports, and it's going to be a pretty sturdy stand, so I can't wait to get this thing done. I'm going to continue right now, and I'll catch up with you guys in just a moment. The stand right now is looking so good. Just take a look at how solid this thing looks. We'll take a closer look in just a moment, but I've got a few more pieces of 2x4s to screw in, and then we'll be completely done. I've got to put them in these areas, these cross supports. I'm not so sure if that's what they're called, but it's just to prevent the stand from swaying and twisting, because if you don't have these in, say an earthquake happens or like you bump into the stand, it's gonna twist around, and that can put a lot of stress on the tank and possibly even damage it. So we've got to put these cross supports in, and then we'll be completely done. But if you take a look here, this right here, all this in the center as well, and the corners, this is what all the weight is going to be sat on. So you can see how solid this thing is. It goes all around this entire stand, so pretty solid build. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this stand so far. But I'm gonna go back to work, and we'll finish this thing up very soon. And there it is. Take a look at this. We are finally done with the stand. It's amazing. I've had such a fun time building this, putting this together. It took me 2 days to put this thing all together. I probably could have done it in one if I didn't have to paint it, but it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get a tank on this thing. We're gonna have 3 tanks first. We're gonna have 3 2-foot tanks sitting here, and then one day, someday, I mentioned before, my dream tank is a 6-foot long tank. So this stand measures 6 feet long, 2 feet front to back, and the height is 27.5 inches tall, or 70 centimeters tall. I feel that that's the perfect height for a stand. When you're standing up, it may feel a little bit short, but maintenance is so much easier. You don't have to stand on the stool to get into the tank, to siphon the bottom of the tank. And also, this is the height that Takashi Yamano said is the ideal, the perfect height for an aquarium stand, because when you take a seat on your sofa or on a chair, on your couch, whatever, the tank is at your eye level. And yeah, I read that somewhere. Takashi Yamano said that, and that's why even the ADA stands and the ADA cabinets, they're all 70 centimeters. So just a fun fact for you out there. So let's take a final look from the outside. We've still got these boxes out here that I need to figure out what to do with. I'm slowly adding more rocks to my series stone collection for that Iwagumi tank that I'm really excited for. But let's go inside and take a look. So right here we've still got all the plants just temporarily in here because it's winter, it's cold outside. These plants don't do well in the cold because they're tropical plants, so just for now we gotta keep them in here. I've got my brine shrimp hatchery right here, the Zis brine shrimp. I've got to get those brine shrimp out. Let's take a look at that. Really nice. So I've got space for 2 right here, so I'm hoping to get another one in the future for all my breeding projects. But if we take a look over here, this is where the stand sits, right in the middle of the room. We've got this rack that we just built a few videos ago, and slowly going to add tanks to that for breeding. Over there as well, I want to make that rack over there the fry rack, and also maybe a few like biotope style tanks for killifish and rasboras, stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Over here we've got the 3-foot tank rack, so we're going to have a bunch of 3-foot tanks on this rack. You can see up there. I'm going to keep maybe plecos, barbs, angelfish, I'm not sure, stuff like that. I still haven't planned out this entire, like, what I want to keep and stuff. So if you guys have any suggestions, tell me in the comments down below. Over here we've got the ADA aquascape tank that I can't really show you because this is going to be up for this year's IAPLC contest. Right now the tank is a complete disaster. It's full of algae. I wish I could show you, but I'm currently in the process of making some videos for that, and you guys will see in the next few months how this tank develops. But right here, this is the 60 centimeter aquarium that I talked about in the start of this video. It's currently full of Echinodorus plants, Amazon swords, and some 𝗲𝗂𝘀𝗀𝘀, and we're going to escape this tank very, very soon. Now that all the stands have been put together, the fish room is, all it needs is just the tanks. We just need to start scaping and putting tanks together, and it's going to be so much fun. This tank is going to be in the nature style aquarium, and it's going to be so fun setting this thing up. So if you guys aren't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. We have so many tanks coming up this year. I don't even know what to say. Just watch out for all the videos to come this year. But right here, this is the 4-foot tank that's going to be all cryptocorn. Well, mostly, probably like 90% cryptocorns. Right now, there's a bunch of like other random plants like Java ferns in here, but that's because for my recent trip to Tokyo, I bought a bunch of plants and I'm just kind of acclimating them in here. Not acclimating, but like growing them in here temporarily. So in the future, we're gonna take them out of the pots and plant them in properly. I've currently got just 2 Endlers live bearers in this tank, both females. Yeah, unfortunately we don't have any males. All my males just disappeared. I'm not so sure why, but we're left with 2 females. I don't know if I should get more males. I'm gonna have a video soon in the future talking about all the plants in this tank and like kind of my plans for this tank. It's a real fun tank. It's such an exciting feeling building out a fish room. It's also a lot of work and kind of expensive. But I know it's going to be worth it, and it's going to be so much fun. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done here. First of all, I got to clean up all this mess. This is my wood storage box that I made for all my spare pieces of wood. And I've got to get this thing out of this fish room because it's taking up a lot of space and there's not much room to walk around to get to all the tanks. So I'm going to have to move this out, clean up all my tools now. And also, we gotta clean up this section when I have time. So I'm gonna try to work on that when I've got the time. But I also really do want to set up tanks, and I know you guys want to see me set up tanks. The final thing I have to do for the stand, I think, is I'm going to need to put a piece of plywood to just cover up the top. I'm not going to wrap the stand and make it look beautiful and stuff. I think it looks cool just like this, but I think we're just going to finish it off with a piece of plywood on top, and maybe down there too. Let me know what you guys think of this new DIY stand. Do you think it's strong enough? I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty strong, but let me know what you guys think and what you guys think of the fish room so far. But as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.